Welcome back to our channel. So students, in this video we will discuss the unit number 2 explanation. Previous video we have already discussed unit number 1 explanation of business economics. So if you are unaware of that video, you please watch that video. In this video we will discuss the unit number 2. So in unit number 2, the first important question is, what is elasticity of demand? What are the methods of elasticity of demand? So elasticity of demand means what it means? When you are increasing your demand, when quantity of demand is increasing, and because of, why it is increasing? Because of the determinants of demand. See, if a product price increasing means there are different determinants. For example, customers prefer that product, quality matters, as per technology is there, consumer is preferencing more on that product. These are all called determinants. So when a product price is increasing, when a product price is increasing or decreasing, when the quantity demand is increasing or decreasing, automatically because of the determinants change. See here, that what they have said here, what they have said, elasticity of demand is defined proportionate change in quantity demand of a commodity due to proportionate change in its determinants. When quantity demand is increasing or decreasing because of the change in its determinants, that is all the whole paragraph refers. Okay, so in simple terms, it is defined as a percentage change in quantity demand of a commodity caused by, because of percentage change in determinants of demand. Other things determinants are constant. Other things being constant when percentage or proportionate change in quantity demand because of the change in determinants. So if you remember this formula, you can convert this formula into a theory of your introduction. So when you remember this formula means you can easily understand the concept of elasticity of demand. Okay, how many types of elasticity of demand? There are 3 types of elasticity of demand: price elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand, cross elasticity of demand. So these are the 3 types. For long, price elasticity of demand is important. Okay, most of the repeated question is price elasticity of demand only. So we will discuss what is price elasticity of demand, what are the different types we are having. Okay, so here what is price elasticity of demand means, when a quantity demand is changing because of the price of the commodity. See, price elasticity of demand is defined as a, when demand is changing, when percentage or proportionate change in quantity demand because of change in price of the commodity. When you change your price of a commodity, automatically you will increase or decrease your customers, right? For example, previously you are keeping your product price for 10 rupees, now you are increasing to 20, automatically the customers will decrease. If you are putting for 8 rupees means automatically customer will increase. Means demand is increasing or decreasing because of the price which you are putting for that product. Okay, so that is called price elasticity of demand. That is the formula of PED. PED is nothing but price elasticity of demand: proportionate change in quantity demand divided by percentage or proportionate change in price of a commodity. So delta Q by Q divided by delta P by P is the, delta Q by Q is the, 1 minute, sorry, delta Q by Q divided by delta P by P is the formula. So you can write it in the delta Q by Q into delta P by P. So you can write it by like this also. It is important that you need to show this formula in your answer booklet. Okay, so delta Q is nothing but how much quantity has been changed. Q is the actual quantity. P is the how much price is changed. Normal P is nothing but price of the commodity. Delta Q, delta P is nothing but price or quantity change of that product. Okay, so how many types you are having, there are 5 types of price elasticity of demand. The first one is perfectly elastic, Second one is perfectly inelastic. Third one is relatively elastic. Fourth is relatively inelastic. Fifth is unitary elasticity of demand. So this is also important. Unitary elasticity means is equal to 1. Relatively inelastic means less than 1. Relatively elasticity demand means more than 1. Perfectly inelastic means 0. Perfectly elasticity of demand is nothing but infinity. Okay, so perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, relatively inelastic, unitary elastic. These 5 side headings you need to remember along with the formulas. P of ed is equal to 1, P of ed is equal to less than 1, more than 1, equal to 0, equal to 1. This is important. The first one we are having perfectly elasticity of demand. What is perfectly elasticity of demand? Is nothing but price is same. Okay, here the price of a commodity is same, but the quantity is increasing or decreasing. See here, the price for the previous is 10, now also 10. Previously 100 customers were buying that product, now it is increased to 120. Here we can observe in price elasticity of demand, price is constant, price is same, but the customers is increasing compared to the last one. Either it might increase or decrease. Sometimes we will have the products, for example in summer many of the customers, many of the peoples will prefer to drink cool drinks, right? That time the price of a cool drink is same in summer and winter, but in winter cool drinks they won't prefer. We will prefer some type of hot items like tea or coffee, like that we will prefer. No, that time the tea price is also same. Be here customers is increasing and decreasing based on some products, based on some situations. So that is called perfectly elasticity of demand. That is, all you need to remember is price is constant, price is same, but the demand is changing. You need to show, you need to represent this into the graph. How you need to represent? See, x axis, y axis we are having. Okay, here we are having the price, on y axis we are having price. Quantity is changing from q to q1, means price is constant but quantity demand is changing from q to q1. Diagrammatic representation also is same. This example I have taken, you can take this example also. Okay, so here delta q is nothing but how much quantity is increasing from 100 to 120, they are increasing, means 20 delta q is. What is the actual quantity? 100. What is the price? 10. What is the difference in price? There is no difference, so that's why 0. So you need to do cross multiplication, so you will get the infinite answer. That is called price elasticity of demand. It's important that you need to show the formula and the definition along with the diagram. Okay, perfectly inelastic perfectly inelastic is nothing but quantity is same. Whether you increase your product price, whether you decrease your product price, the quantity is same only. See, it is a perfectly inelastic demand, opposite of perfectly elastic demand. What is that means? Here if you increase your price or if you decrease your price, the demand is same for that product. Okay, see, price is increased from 10 to 12 here. 1 minute. Here it is increasing from 10 to 12, but the quantity is 100 only. 100 customers previously they were purchasing, now also 100 customers. That is called perfectly inelastic demand. See how you represent this thing, x axis, y axis. Q is same, price is changing, so price is changing from p to p1, quantity demand is same. So that is the diagrammatic representation of perfectly inelastic. Okay, next we are having relatively elasticity of demand. Proportionate change in price always less than proportionate change in demand. See here you are decreasing your price from 10 to 9. Okay, when your product is price is decreasing from 10 to 9 rupee, you are expecting more. Okay, so here price is always less than the quantity demand. When you are when you are decreasing some small amount of price, quantity is more, means demand is increasing more. That is called relatively elastic. That is what you need to represent in the diagram. How you need to represent? Here the quantity is small only, from P to P1 this much only are decreasing, but the quantity demand is increasing. See, here the space of the quantity demand is increasing more. That is called relatively elastic. What is relatively inelastic? See, if you are decreasing your price more, for example 10 rupees product you are decreasing to 8 rupees, you are assuming that more number of customers will come. But the thing is, when you decrease more also, not much to the expectation, your customer is not coming. So that is called relatively inelasticity of demand. Here price is you are decreasing more, but the quantity demand for that product is less. That is called relatively elastic. Unitary elastic means when you increase your price, customers won't come. When you decrease your price, demand will increase. Means when price increases, demand decreases. When price decreases, demand increases. That is called unitary elasticity of demand. When you are keeping 10 rupees for the product, 200 people will purchasing it. When you are keeping 8 rupees for your product, 100 people will purchasing it. It's nothing but about your price. Price increases, demand decreases. Price decreases, demand increases. That is called unitary elasticity of demand. This is the 5 types of price elasticity of demand we are having. Next important question is law of demand. What are its assumptions and exceptions? What is law of demand? Is nothing but other things being constant, when price increases, demand decreases. Simple thing, you need to remember it. Okay, when price increases, demand is decreasing. When price is decreasing means automatically the demand for that product will increase. If you remember this means, you can able to write this law of demand. That is what they are stating in the statement of the law. The law may be stated as other things being equal, the higher the price of a commodity, the lower will be the quantity demand. The lower the price, the larger will be the quantity demand. What is the formula of law of demand? D is equal to F of P. P is nothing but price, F is functional, D is nothing but demand. That is called formula of law of demand. You need to show it compulsory. And the law of demand, what is they are saying means, when price decreases, quantity for that product will increase. When quantity demand is increases, automatically the price is decreasing. Means that is what they have explained here also. The same stuff they are explaining in the different paragraphs, that you need to understand. You need to show it in the table and diagrammatic representation. When you are keeping 5 rupees for your product, 100 customers only are purchasing that product. When you are decreasing your product, your quantity demand is increasing. See, if you are keeping 1 rupee, 500 people are buying. If you are keeping 2 rupee, 400 people are buying. If you are keeping 3 rupees, 300 people are buying. If you are keeping 4 rupees, 200 people are buying. Means when you goes on increasing your price, automatically the quantity will decrease. When you decrease your price, demand for that product also will increase. That is what we have represented in the diagrammatic. So always law of demand slopes downwards from left to right. First, when you decrease your price, when you keep your price small, here it will be the high chance of, means always the law of demand slopes downwards from left to right. That is the law of demand. After this table and graph, you need to explain it. That is in your own, you need to write it by your own. For example, how you need to write your own means, when your consumer is preferring more demand, when they are having price less, like that you can increase, you can elaborate your explanation. Okay, what are the assumptions, what are the rules you need to follow to perform this law? Means the first one is there should be no change in consumer income, there should be no change in government policy. So these are 7 types I have given. So these 7 types, out of these 7, try to remember any 5 and elaborate it in your answer. How you will elaborate means, for example, no change in consumer income. So while performing, there should be no change in income. For example, if in 1 month if a consumer is income is 10,000, in second month he is earning 1 lakh, means automatically the preferences will also be changed, no? So there should be no change in consumer income. That is the first thing we need to follow. Okay, next, government policy, tax rates also should not change. Like age, size, anything you should not change, like this thing. What are the exemptions? Exemptions is nothing but in what circumstances this law will never work out. Okay, so given paradox, this is helpful for your 4 marks. So this, in this law of demand, in given paradox means it's nothing but, in England there was an economist called Sir Robert Giffen. He observed he observed something in the England, in mining agencies, when the workers will do the mining, no, that time they prefer bread and meat for their lunch. Okay, so when meat price is increasing, automatically the workers are shifting to the bread, because bread is having the less price, no. In that cases this law will never work out. Means you should not change your preferences because of the increase in the price, because of the increase in price of the meat, that's what laborers are changing from meat and consuming more bread. Means they are balancing like that. In that circumstances this law will never work out. That is called Giffen paradox. Next one, articles of snowmobile. Articles of snowmobile is nothing but Veblen goods, also we can call it. What is this Veblen goods? Means when a product price is more, then only customer will allow, when customer also will prefer to buy it. Okay, for example, diamonds rate are higher price. Okay, when it is getting you for 100 rupees or 10 rupees, there is no value for that product, right? So when you are having a price for that product more, consumer prefers to purchase that more. That is the thing of articles of snowmobile. So okay, so this is the two things, exceptions I have given. Speculation is also there but not important. So this is about the unit number 2 explanation. I hope that you have got clarity. If you are having any doubts, let me know in the comment section. See you all in the next video. Bye bye everyone.